If I were to leave you, you'd be in trouble, right?
What?
If we get divorced, you'll just end up on the street. You parasite.
My husband flicks divorce papers in front of me and threatens me as usual. You can't live without me. That's what he thinks. It's true that I'm a housewife and don't have the financial resources to support myself, but that's just for now. My husband looks down on me triumphantly. The confidence he gained from manipulating me as he pleased over the years is evident on his face. But wait, that won't be the case forever. I won't let you have your way. Understand? My name is Wendy Summer, and I'm 29 years old. I spend monotonous days as a housewife. I became the wife of the person I love 2 years ago. Thomas, my husband, was my senior at work, and he was in charge of my training. Not only was he good at teaching, but Thomas, with his good looks, was also popular among colleagues, to the extent that there was even a secret fan club for him. I wasn't a member of the fan club, but I too secretly admired him. I never intended to confess my feelings. That's what I thought, but one day he conveyed that he had feelings for me. At the sudden revelation, I couldn't speak well at the time. He called me cute and smiled kindly at me. That became the starting point, and our relationship developed, culminating in a smooth proposal after a year of dating. Family introductions, purchasing wedding rings, reserving the venue for the ceremony. While wrapping up work tasks at the office, I got deeply involved in planning for the wedding. Following my husband's wishes, it was decided that I would become a housewife after marriage. I was on cloud 9. On that day, when many people blessed us, I thought I was the happiest person in the world. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with my beloved Thomas. Since when did it change? How did a happy marriage turn into a hellish one? I think it was a minor thing. Half a year into marriage, one day, his birthday to be exact. As a housewife, unlike when I was working, I had no income, so I was using my own savings for shopping and daily expenses.
You can use any leftover monthly allowance freely.
He said that to me, but his salary isn't that high either. The allowance I receive is meager. After deducting expenses other than rent, like utilities and groceries, there's barely around $50 left. And today is his birthday. Although my husband gave me money, it somehow felt different to use it to buy his birthday present, so I decided to purchase the gift with my own money. But considering our future travels and the possibility of having children, I couldn't afford to waste money. So I set a budget of $100 and bought the tie clip he had been wanting. I also prepared homemade cake and dishes, waiting for my husband to come home. He arrives, saying, "I'm home," and I greet him with a smile. "Welcome back. The food and cake are ready."
Where did you buy them?
To his somewhat indifferent inquiry, I proudly announce, "I didn't buy them. I made them myself. It's my first time, so I'm not sure about the taste." With a bit of embarrassment, I show him the neatly arranged dishes. However, he only glances at them, showing no signs of happiness. He's supposed to be delighted. My expectations were shattered easily. Thomas?" I looked fearfully into my husband's face, and he sighed heavily.
Hey, what's this? Were you planning to celebrate my birthday with this? Seriously?
"What do you mean? I prepared both the dishes and the cake."
Huh? Don't make me laugh. Did you think I'd be happy with these homemade cheap-looking dishes?
Huh?
Oh well, I guess I'm being mocked too. For my birthday, I was hoping for gourmet delicacies from a high-end store or a cake from a popular bakery. Or maybe I expected you to take me to a fancy restaurant. Something like that.
I'm sorry. The reaction I received was the opposite of what I expected, and my heart started pounding intensely. As if flaunting it in front of me, he reached for my present and roughly tore open the wrapping paper.
What's this? A tie clip?
Well, Thomas, you mentioned wanting it before, right?
Did I say that? I don't remember.
Huh?
And this place isn't even that expensive. Don't you think it's rude to give me something like this as a gift?
My husband tossed the tie clip onto the sofa with a mocking expression on his face. Without touching the prepared food, he headed towards the bathroom. From the dressing room, his humming could be heard. Despite just having said unkind words to his wife, how could he still sing happily? But beyond anger towards my husband, a feeling of profound sadness overwhelmed me. I thought my homemade dishes and the tie clip would surely make my husband happy. If he were the kind person I believed him to be, he would have said, "Thank you for any gift." That's what I thought, but reality was crueler than I had imagined. Thinking back, there were many instances where I felt uneasy since getting married. If there was dust in the room, I was told to clean it thoroughly, and even about my cooking, he said, "The taste doesn't suit me." Despite all this, I have been convincing myself for the past 6 months. I thought that being able to marry the person everyone admired made me a fortunate person. However, it seems that wasn't the case. Maybe my husband doesn't love me. Perhaps he chose me as a wife, simply because I was the most convenient. Maybe he chose me because I'm someone who will obediently go along with anything. That's what I started to believe. It seems my assumption was correct, because since that day, I've been oppressed by my husband every day. Whenever I did something he didn't like, he always said the same thing.
Why can't you even do such a basic thing?
I'm sorry.
Don't just think that apologizing is enough, you piece of trash. Is it okay? I'll divorce you.
Please, stop. Don't talk about divorce so easily.
Huh? Yeah, that's right. After all, if I divorce you, you won't have a face to show to anyone, right? After all, I'm the most popular guy in the company. In that sense, I've managed to get you.
In that sense?
You get it, right? As a full-time housewife, if you get divorced, you'll have nowhere to go, right? Right now, you're just unemployed. I didn't wish for you to become a full-time housewife. Normally, who'd just go along with that? You who obediently follows every silly request are the fool here.
My husband laughed and threw the completed divorce papers at me. He threatens me with divorce papers at every turn. How many times has he presented these divorce papers now? I could just throw them away, but deep down, I find it hard to discard them, perhaps because a part of me wishes for a divorce. However, the reality is, as much as he threatens, I can't bring myself to initiate a divorce. For the past few months, I've been doing remote work with his permission, but I can only work within the household, so the income and savings are not substantial. Am I doomed to live as his subordinate? Do I have no choice but to continue as a housewife, forever living in fear of him? Faced with such a harsh reality, I found myself giving up on something within me. Then one day, something happened. A client I usually work with remotely contacted me, expressing interest in hiring me as a regular employee. To secure a safety net for the future in case something happens, I decided to negotiate with my husband, against all odds. "Hey Thomas, there's something I'd like to talk to you about." I cautiously approached my husband, who had just returned home from a drinking party. However, he seemed quite drunk, shouting, "Shut up," as he threw off his suit and collapsed onto the sofa, falling asleep. I sighed and picked up his discarded suit. Then his phone slipped out of his pants pocket. Uh-oh, what's this? The screen showed messages from someone named Rachel. The content was too intimate for mere acquaintances. "Thanks for today, it was so much fun. I want to visit your apartment, Thomas, but your wife is in the way. You'll be breaking up soon, right? I'll be waiting since I'm a good girl." After reading the messages, I performed fingerprint authentication on my husband's phone, careful not to wake him. The lock was quickly released, and I checked the contents. It was filled with evidence of Thomas's affair, from messages with Rachel to photos from their dates. Unbelievable. After acting so high and mighty, he's cheating? I can't forgive this. What does he think of me? I selected the most incriminating evidence and transferred it to my phone. After finishing the tasks, I woke up my husband, who was sleeping on the sofa. Wake up. Hey, wake up. My yelling startled him awake.
What is it?
He said bluntly, rubbing his eyes. What is it? Won't cut it. Don't you have anything to say to me?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. I know that you're cheating.
Huh? So that's what this is about?
That's not what My husband pulled out the divorce papers as usual and casually waved them in front of me.
If I decide to leave, it'll be tough for you, right?
What?
If we get divorced, you'll just end up on the streets, won't you? You parasite.
He threw the divorce papers and they hit my face. That moment, the wave of patience I had barely contained surged like a tsunami. Oh, I can't take it anymore. Living life as this man's puppet is just impossible. Perhaps satisfied with berating me, he again sprawled on the sofa and started snoring. During that time, I packed my belongings and left the house without anyone holding me back. I headed to my parents' place, explaining the situation, and decided to stay there for a while. Upon learning about my husband's true nature, my parents were furious. My father even wanted to confront him and throw a punch, but I stopped him, saying, I have a plan. The next day, I signed the divorce papers handed to me by my husband and submitted them to the municipal office. After it was smoothly accepted, I succinctly summarized the facts and sent a message to my husband. For several days afterward, Thomas made dozens of calls.
You're doing whatever you want. I won't forgive you. You're a parasite who can't live without me.
Messages like these that I wanted to avoid flooded in. Of course, I ignored them all. Yes, everything was part of a revenge plan that I had carefully crafted. I might even marry someone else right away, but not now. Even if I'm not around, he'll continue his affair without a care in the world. No, it might become an even more blissful time for him than when I was with him. But I now have numerous pieces of evidence of his infidelity. When the time comes, I will execute my revenge without fail. With that determination in my heart, I started a new life. A year passed. In the end, I accepted an offer from a client and was hired in a position close to a full-time employee. I spent the first year at my parents' house, and only recently I began living on my own. My father and mother said,
You can stay with us forever.
but I couldn't keep relying on them. Besides, revenge against him awaits me. Once I can live independently after leaving my parents' house, I'll carry out my revenge. I decided this a year ago. With the evidence of his affair that I transferred to my phone, I consulted a highly rated law firm. There, I explained the situation and expressed my desire to claim compensation for the damages caused by my ex-husband and his affair partner. Is it possible to claim compensation for damages at this point? In response to my question, the lawyer confidently answered,
Don't worry. In this situation, the legal obligations have been fulfilled, but the discovery of the affair happened a year ago. In other words, it's a matter from before the divorce. If the affair was discovered within 3 years, you can claim compensation for mental distress.
I see. Well then, please proceed.
Yes, leave it to me.
The assigned lawyer acted swiftly, just as I had heard. He extracted key evidence from what I provided and created a certified document. 2 weeks later, I received a call from my ex-husband, wondering if the documents had safely reached him. Hello? When I responded, he began to speak quickly, as if in a hurry.
Hey, what the heck is this about?
Oh, you got it. As it says there, I'll be expecting the $20,000 for the alimony fee, okay?
Huh? Are you kidding me? We're already divorced, right? So why the heck are you asking for alimony for cheating all of a sudden?
All of a sudden? What are you talking about? I've been waiting for this moment forever.
What is that?
I asked around with some former colleagues, and it seems like you're getting quite cozy with that affair woman at work, especially after our divorce was finalized. Are you getting all bold now, thinking you can flaunt it because you don't have to hide it anymore?
Well, that's...
Yeah, that's right. I had already investigated Thomas's situation at work before seeking revenge. Turns out, his affair partner is a new employee at the company. Apparently, he's been playing the victim, spreading stories about our divorce and openly getting close with his affair partner. Most of the female employees believed him because of his good looks. But I won't let Thomas get away with this. I've decided to thoroughly corner him and seek revenge. I declared it with a sense of closure, as if putting an end to the grudges of the past and stepping confidently into the new era. Do you think you're a winner in life just because you're well-liked and good-looking at the office? Too bad. Your winning streak ends today. I'll make sure to report everything you've done to the company, like having an affair with that woman while you were still married to me, and all the emotional abuse you put me through.
Wait, if you do that, I'll...
Whatever happens to you from now on is none of my concern. Whether you fall into hell with your affair or destroy yourself, I couldn't care less. What I can't forgive is you living a normal life from now on. That's all. I'll make sure you repay the suffering I endured. Scum like you won't be able to live a normal life from now on.
Hey, Wendy, wait up! Wendy!
Interrupting his desperate plea, I unilaterally ended the call. Before he could call back, I blocked his number. Later, with the support of a close former colleague, I reported my ex-husband's infidelity to the company. The fact that I used to work for the same company and that his affair was with a new employee there made the company take my complaint seriously. As a result, both Thomas and his affair partner faced disciplinary dismissal. The affair partner, angered by the claim for damages, screamed, "It's your fault," and slapped Thomas at work, leading to an abrupt end of their relationship. Losing his job became a setback for Thomas, and he struggled to find new employment. Now he's working multiple part-time jobs to make ends meet in a small apartment. On the other hand, I continued with my remote work and found contentment in my days. Working from home allowed me to focus on my tasks at my own pace without worrying about others. Although it ended in divorce, the experience taught me valuable lessons. Happiness doesn't solely depend on marriage. Living a life true to oneself is the ultimate happiness. Being able to once again realize that it is the greatest happiness. Without forgetting that fact, I want to continue living honestly with myself in the future.